We'll begin resting in constructive rest pose. Taking a moment to allow the body to settle into this neutral, relaxed position. As you relax, feeling all of the points where you're touching the floor, and at each one of those points, relax even a little bit more down into the support of the floor. And soften the belly. Notice the natural shape of your lumbar spine. Broaden your shoulder blades. Lengthen the back of your neck. You may need to draw the chin down towards the notch of the neck a bit more, or perhaps put a small support under your head. Feel the back of the head dropping down into the support of the floor. Releasing all unnecessary effort. Just the smallest bit of engagement to keep the legs from flopping over. Otherwise, completely giving into this rest posture. And we'll begin by stabilizing the inner core. Bring the attention to the pelvic floor as you inhale. And as you exhale, shrink the pelvic floor, gathering towards the perineum. And with the inhale, relax that effort. And bring your attention to the belt of the transversus. And then as you exhale, gently wrap that belt snug around the low torso. And relax that with your inhale. Return the attention to the pelvic floor. And exhale, gather the pelvic floor, engage the sphincters. And then release with the inhale. Bring the attention back to the belt of the transversus, wrapping all the way around. And exhale, feel it snug around the hips. Imagine it buckling beneath the navel. And then relax that. Once more to the pelvic floor, inhale. Exhale, shrink the pelvic floor and then add your gentle wrapping of your belt of the transversus around the low torso. Feel the whole inner core working. Pelvis stabilized, lumbar curve stabilized. And then release that. Bring the arms down to the sides with the palms facing. Take an inhale and float the arms up into a vertical position, and then exhale, engage the inner core, the pelvic floor and that belt. Reach your arms back towards the wall behind you. Maintain your neutral lumbar curve. And inhale, bring the arms back up into vertical. And then as you exhale, set the arms back down on the sides. Relax the effort. Let all effort release down into the pull of gravity. And we'll do it again. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, engage the inner core. And as you support, reach your arms back towards the wall behind you. Maintain your neutral lower back. Inhale, bring the arms up to vertical. And exhale, release the arms back down to the sides. Keeping the pelvis and lower back completely still. One more time. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, stabilize around the pelvis and the lower back. Reach the arms back. And inhale, arms float up. We're going to keep the arms up for a moment, dropping the humeral heads down into the shoulder joints, softening in the shoulders. And then we'll bring the hands behind the head. Interlace the fingers, open the elbows out wide. Take an inhale, feel your ribs flaring. Feel how the back ribs peel away from the mat a little bit. And exhale, imprint the back ribs down into the mat. Knit your front ribs together. Maintain your neutral lower back curve. Keep your elbows out wide. And inhale, let the ribs flare again. Exhale, imprint the back ribs and knit the front ribs. Keep those elbows out wide. Maintain your neutral lower back. And inhale, release. One more time. Exhale, feel the back ribs print down into the mat. Knit the front ribs together. Engage your inner core and maintain your neutral spine as you lift your head and lower back down. Keep the neutral lower back. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And one more time, lift on your exhale, lower on the inhale, and then relax. Release the arms down to the sides, keep the palms turning up and your shoulders broad. Engage your inner core, knit your front ribs around as though they're going to your back pockets, imprint your back ribs and keep the Pelvis and lower back steady as you lift the right foot up. And flex the foot, extend the leg out, reaching through the heel. Inhale, bend the knee and then anchor as you lower the foot back down. And keep steadying the pelvis as you inhale the left foot up. Exhale, flex, extend. And inhale, bend the knee. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the pelvis steady as you lower the left foot. Inhale, right up. Exhale, flex, extend. Inhale, bend the knee and re-anchor, lower the foot. Keep the shoulders easy. Inhale, left foot up. Exhale, reach through the heel. And inhale, bend the knee. Shoulders stay relaxed as you lower the foot. One more time with each leg. Right up. Exhale, reach out through the heel as you extend the leg. Inhale, bend the knee and anchor as you lower. And go to the left side. Keep the pelvis completely still. Reach out through the heel. Bend the knee. Re-anchor. Lower the foot. And let everything relax. We're going to get a small ball, or you can use a folded blanket or towel, and place it between the knees. Keeping the upper body relaxed and the lower back in its neutral position. Engage the inner core, and then squeeze the knees into the ball. Maintain for 5 counts. And then very slowly unsqueeze. Pelvis is sitting still the whole time. Again, inner core, and then squeeze on the ball and maintain for 5. And then slowly release. Keep the pelvis steady one more time. Anchor and squeeze. And release slowly. And relax for a moment. Now we're going to add a pelvic tilt and then a pelvic lift. Engage the inner core. Squeeze on the ball. Without pressing your feet into the floor, tilt the pelvis. So you're going to pull the pubic bone towards the navel. Then imprint the back ribs and press into the feet as you lift your hips up. Keep squeezing on the ball. And then come back down. Squeezing the ball as you imprint the ribs. You're rolling through the lower back, so you're tilting the pelvis. And then finally release and relax all of the work. And set it up again. Inner core, squeeze the ball. Tilt the pelvis by drawing the pubic bone towards the navel. Then press into the feet. Imprint your back ribs and raise your hips to the ceiling. Feel the length at the front of the thighs. And lower back down. Scooping the belly in, imprinting the back ribs. Pelvis is tilting. You're continuing to squeeze the ball the whole time. Releasing back down. Let everything go. One more time. Engage the inner core and squeeze the ball. Tilt the pelvis. And then press into the feet and raise the hips. And release. Now keep your back flat. We're going to keep the belly scooping in and lift the feet up off of the mat. Now move your knees a little bit farther away from your chest so you reestablish your neutral spine. Feel your ribs knitting and imprinting. Bring your hands to your sides and press down through the palms to activate the back arms. Lift your head so your chin's into your chest. Extend the legs out. And then we're going to go into the 100, keeping the ball squeezed between the knees. Exhale for 5 pulses of the arms. And inhale. Exhale for 5. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more set. Exhale for 5. And inhale. Now continue to anchor. Bend your knees, lower your head down. I'm going to take the ball out. Put it off to the side. Re-engage the inner core. Lower the right foot down and tap the toes. And then lift it back up. And then the same thing with the left. And lift. Exhale, lower the right and tap. Inhale, lift. And the same thing with the left. One more time with each leg. Maintaining your neutral lower back and your imprinted back ribs. Then one hand on each knee. Take the knees out wide and let the legs relax in the wide position for a moment. And then let's stir the legs around in the sockets. Very easy. Keeping keeping the front thighs as relaxed as possible. We're just rocking the femur around in the hip joint in reverse. And then let's bring the knees in close to the chest. Take your arms out wide like a T, and exhale, bring both knees over to the left side. Relax the right arm. Breathe slowly into your twist. And then bring the knees back into the center. And drop them both over to the right side. Reach the left arm out. And breathe slowly as you stretch the left side. And then bring the knees back into the center. We're going to keep the back flat and lower the right foot down with a flat back and the left foot down with a flat back. Maintain your flat back and slide the right heel away and then the left heel away. Keeping the back flat, we're going to stretch the arms up and reach back and then release. Let yourself stretch long. Flex the feet back and then squeeze the toes. Point the feet, fan the toes out, and then flex the feet back. Squeeze, point, fan, flex, squeeze, point, fan, flex. Keep your toes open and then reach out through the ball of the foot. Squeeze your toes and pull back. Open and reach, squeeze, and pull back one more time. And then relax the feet. Now we're going to take the small ball in the hands and take the arms up to vertical. Hold the ball above the breastbone. Engage your inner core. Maintain your neutral pelvis and reach your arms back towards the wall behind you. And then scoop your belly in to flatten the lower back. We're going to roll up. Flip the ball forward as you inhale. And roll one vertebra at a time, lifting up. And without straining the neck and without pulling the shoulders, lean forward into the stretch. Then hold the ball in front of the breastbone and slowly roll back down. And reach it back, lengthen, and scoop the belly, float the arms, and roll again. And lean forward, upper back relaxed, bend the elbows. And take it down slowly. And reach back. One more time. And final time, returning to the floor. Take one more long reach with the arms overhead. Keeping the pelvis level on the floor, walk the feet a little bit to the left side and then take your right foot, place it on your left ankle. And side bend your upper body. So you're going to move the ball over to the left. Keep your right hip and your right shoulder down and stretch your whole right side. And then return to the center, stretch it up, and walk the feet a little to the right. Tuck your left ankle over your right, and side bend the upper body towards the right side. Keep your left hip and your left shoulder down, and breathe into your left side. And return to the center. I'm going to float the ball up And then release the arms down. And we'll put the ball away and get a length of TheraBand. And return to the back with the knees bent. And then we'll take the TheraBand around the ball of the right foot. You're going to begin by holding the band in both hands, keeping your elbows down, and then anchor your core, knit your ribs, and extend the right leg out and about halfway down to the floor. And engage your core, and then slide your left leg away. Now we're going to stretch the outer right leg, so we're going to bring the leg down again about halfway to the floor from there. Switch the band over into your left hand. Keep your right hip down and slide the band over towards the left side as far as it's comfortable to stretch the outer hip capsule. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. Make sure that your hip stays down. If you let your hip go, you're going to move the stretch into the sacrum or lower back. I'm going to feel it in the outer leg. I'm going to anchor the stretch. Then we're going to bring the leg back into the center. So switch the band over to the right hand. Keep your elbow down on the floor and then straighten your leg up towards the ceiling and lower it back down towards the floor, maintaining your neutral back the whole time. Keep your belt wrapped around your hips, your ribs knitting and imprinting. Stretch the leg up and bring it down towards the floor, keeping the pelvis still. Let's go up once again and down. Try to keep the elbow down on the floor so your shoulders stay down. Final time, we're going to lift up to the top, and from here start our hip circles. Really draw your belt snug across your hips. Be sure your ribs are knitting and imprinting. And then you can make the circles as big as you can make them without your pelvis moving. So explore your range of motion, but don't let your pelvis move. You can use your left hand to monitor what's going on in the pelvis. You're really using your obliques here, feeling those ribs crossing down around to the opposite back pocket. Going 5 times in one direction. Reset at the top, knit the ribs, and then go the other direction for 5. And when you're finished, we'll bend the knee. Keep the band off and bring both knees into the chest. For the knees a little high, you can wrap in the sacrum. Then we'll lower the right foot down and take the band around the ball of the left foot. Start by holding the band in both hands, elbows down on the floor, and extend the legs straight out. Find your belt, find your ribs knitting and imprinting. And then we're going to switch the band over to the right hand, slide the right leg away, and lower the left leg a bit closer to the floor, and then slide it over towards the right side. And we're aiming to find that stretch in the outer left hip again. Keep your left hip down. Keep the left shoulder down. We come back into the center, switch the band into the the left arm, and anchor your left elbow down into the mat. Engage the core and lift the left leg straight up and bring it back down. So steadying the pelvis, keeping the lumbar curve neutral, keeping the back ribs imprinted, lower and lift and lower. And then re-anchor, find your belt, find your ribs knitting and imprinting. And then find the range of motion that you can support a steady pelvis. 5 circles. This is going to be a different kind of leg circle from what you're used to when you don't use the band. Got a lot more range of motion here. So 5 in one direction, reset, and we'll reverse the circles. And then we'll bend the left knee, take the band off, and bring both knees into the chest. Rock on the sacrum. And then let's turn over onto the left side. We'll have the knees bent at 90 degrees, so the knee and the feet, and the knees and the feet are stacked at the front of the mat. Rock your right hip forward. Let's do 10 repetitions of the clamshells, rolling the right leg out in the socket, keeping the pelvis steady. Relax when you're done, and open the angle to 45-degree hip flexion. Again, check that the hips are stacked. Engage your inner core and roll the right leg out in the socket. 10 more times. Relax when you're finished, and then we'll open all the way out into 0-degree hip flexion. Reset the inner core and do 10 more rotations. Then we're going to bend the bottom knee back into its 45-degree angle and take the right leg straight out in front of you. Reach down with your left hand and grab a hold of the foot, the leg, or the thigh, wherever you can. And then we're going to go into a twist, keeping the right leg straight, moving the right arm out to the side. So I want to feel the stretch down the back of the right side, out the outer thigh of the right side, and into that right buttock. And we're going to bend the right knee to the back with both knees bent. And then roll over onto the right side. And again, we'll begin with the knees at the top of the front of the mat, so the hips are in 90-degree hip flexion. We'll find the inner core muscles wrapping the belt, and then 10 times rolling the leg out in the socket. Once you're finished with those 10, open out the angle a little bit, 45-degree hip flexion. Stack the knees and the hips, support with the inner core, and roll the leg out in the socket 10 times. Relax when you're done and open out to 0-degree hip flexion. And reset the core. Final 10 repetitions. When you're done, return the legs to the 45-degree hip flexion And then we're going to extend the top leg all the way forward. Reach down with the right hand, hold the leg wherever you can hold it, and open the left arm out to the side, stretching the whole left side, particularly aware of the back of the left leg, the outer thigh, the buttock. And then we'll come onto the back and hug the knees once more. And let's finish by turning over onto the stomach with the hands underneath the forehead. Legs comfortably separated. Engage the inner core. Glide the ribs. Press the elbows down and raise the chest and head. Opening the breastbone without compressing the back of the neck. And lower back down. And again, re-anchor in the core, knit the ribs and raise the chest and the head. Draw the shoulder blades down towards the back pockets, the breastbone away from the navel. And lower back down. One more time, engage the low core, glide the ribs and lift the chest and the head. And release the forehead back down. Then let's come up into the Sphinx position, elbows directly underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to interlace the fingers, tuck the toes, and prepare for a low plank. Engage the inner core, tuck the tail between the legs, knit the ribs together, press down into the forearms, and lift the torso up. Lengthening from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet. Feel your ribs knitting underneath you. Good. Keep your belt nice and snug. Press down into the elbows. You don't want to collapse. You're pushing away. Not that we're rounding the back, but we want the shoulder blades to be broad on the back. Now keep supporting. Bring your knees down to the floor. And then we're going to move the hips all the way back to the heels. Keep your arms nicely extended out in front of you. And then inhale, lift up onto all fours. Open the chest here. Reconnect with your low core. Tuck your toes under. Going to the inverted V, downward facing dog. Push your hands into the floor. Raise your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees bent at first. Get a nice long line from your hands to your hips. And then if you can, without sacrificing that, straighten the legs, then do. But if that collapses your back, just keep your knees straight. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then reconnect with the low core. Feel your pelvic floor, your belt. Walk your hands in towards your legs. Relax the neck and shoulders. Bring the hands behind the backs of the legs. Reconnect with the core, knit the ribs, and flatten your back as you slide your hands up your legs to come all the way upright. Standing tall through the crown of the head. Roll the arms out in the sockets to open the chest. And then relax the arms at the sides. And there you go. Right. Thanks. Have a good rest of the day. Take good care. Be well. Bye-bye.